Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central, and welcome to an episode of What's the Meta. This is a series where we look at particular balance changes, and not only how it affects that particular hero, but other heroes in its tier and across the game as a whole. We're thinking of heroes like stocks in a stock market, with the currency being viability and time played. And as you can imagine, heroes like to go up and down all of the time, so we wanted to do a recap here. This video couldn't have been done without our friends at Meta, so huge shout out to them. They have lots of information that can help you improve, and goes over all of this video in detail with specific ranks as well. So do check that out in the description below, it's worth having a look. But it has been a while since we've done our last one. First and foremost, Doomfist has come into the game, and we'll be looking at changes between the period of the start of August to about now. Bearing in mind that we have some changes on the PTR that are about to hit live, and also some other stuff with D.Va and Mercy. But this is before then, just so you know. But it should summarise the meta currently, what has been happening since Doomfist has been added into the game. But we're going to begin with a category featuring the heaviest changes, the tanks.
The tank category of heroes have been very interesting lately. D.Va has taken a huge hit since the addition of Doomfist and the Zarya changes went through, so she's dropped an average of about 7.3% in usage across all tiers, which is massive really. Orisa has stayed relatively the same and not moved much in usage, though her pick rate is not very high overall. Reinhardt has, with the fall of D.Va, taken some ground back and is doing better again, and it'll be interesting to see if this lasts and what happens after the next balance patch hits live servers. As of right now, he's gone up with 3.3% in usage, which is a pretty solid amount, and he's mostly doing better in the mid to high skill tiers. Roadhog is relatively unchanged, as on the live service he's just the nerfed version of Hog. We'll see if the changes to Take a Breather has any effect on his pick rate or not, but as of right now he's just in the same sort of not so great spot. Moving on to Winston though, who has lost a lot in pick rate, just because the meta is moving away from dive more and more, and Winston is definitely part of that. Winston dropped off with 5.8%, which you can compare to D.Va's 7.3, and it's quite a hefty amount for what used to be such a popular hero. And finally, in this section we have Zarya, the big winner, who has gone up in usage with a solid 4.5% due to the buff she received to her ultimate, with which she was a big part in Overwatch competitive, moving away from dive compositions. She's doing very well right now, especially with the great ultimate combo she can perform with Doomfist, and it'll be interesting to see if any upcoming balance changes affect Zarya's position at all, or if she's gonna remain dominating competitive.
On to our next category of heroes, which are the offense ones. Quite a lot has happened. More notably, we have our newest hero into the game, Doomfist. Doomfist has had a huge debut into the game so far. Certainly beats the popularity of Orisa. Not necessarily sure how it compared to Anna way back when, but overall Doomfist has a usage of about 25% across all the tiers. And overall, when it comes to playing DPS heroes, you have a lot of choices, and you could sort of see that a lot of the heroes have dropped with the addition to Doomfist. It's really difficult to talk about how we compared before because he wasn't in the game before, so we are going to get started onto Genji, who has actually dropped. He's lost on average about 3.6% across all the tiers, and there have been some major drops as well, such as -6% in Platinum and -5.8% in Grandmaster, which is huge considering how important Genji is as a hero. McCree, on the other hand, has experienced a small gain, not that much overall, only about 2% on average, but in Diamond he's gained a total of 3.7% and in GM 5.5, meaning that Deathball might be coming back in some capacity with McCree at the helm. Pharah remains relatively unchanged, but has gone down a little bit in usage, again probably because of Doomfist. We didn't want to put a red arrow here as it's not that slightly big of a drop, and the bigger drops in her sort of skill rating pool happen in lower tiers, which is definitely proven to be a little bit more random. Reaper though has dropped 3.4% in total, most of it being concentrated in Silver to Master, which is interesting to see. Not really sure why this has happened, and not really a hero that people have been keeping an eye on in total, but definitely a significant change to him. Soldier 76 has dropped as well with -4% on average, which is very interesting considering the hero that he kind of is, but he still picked a fair amount as well. Sombra has barely moved in any of the tiers really, only a slight drop in Grandmaster, but overall in an unchanged position. Nice to see that Sombra has finally found her place in the game currently. And last but not least, we are going to look at Tracer, who is the biggest average mover in the offense hero tier, going down by 4.4%, which is quite a big drop. This again is very similar fashion to Genji, who are affected with the dive meta disappearing more and more. Tracer is the biggest mover in Grandmaster as well as with total loss, with 13.5% in GM alone. A huge drop for what used to be the golden girl in the Grandmaster tier.
Next up, we have supports with an interesting mix-up really, beginning with Ana. Out of all the movers in this tier, Ana has moved the least but has gone up in usage just a little bit, especially in Diamond and Master. Nothing major here though. Lucio though has actually dropped off a fair bit, but due to his pick rate being so high already, he's still being played a lot overall, just not as much as before. A 3% average loss across all tiers for him, but interestingly enough there was barely any usage change in Diamond. All other tiers though experienced fairly big Lucio usage changes, which is interesting and definitely a loss, but Lucio is still a solid hero. Mercy is definitely the biggest winner out of the supports, and whilst she only gained 1.8% on average, which isn't a lot compared to other heroes, she did see a nearly 14% increase overall in the Master tier. We'll see what happens after the upcoming Mercy changes, but this is very interesting for sure. Next in line of supports we have Symmetra, who is barely moved at all. There really isn't much happening with her from a meta standpoint, so yeah, not much to say there. And finally, Zenyatta, who has overall gone down in usage with an average of minus 2.5%. But it's mostly in Master and Grandmaster where we see him drop off as he loses 4 to 5% in those tiers. This is most likely again due to dive comps diminishing.
And finally, defense heroes, it comes as no surprise that we don't have an awful lot to say. They remain in a relatively unchanged state. Hanzo's dropped a bit, but not really a lot in comparison to the other heroes that we've covered. Heroes haven't really changed much, but we are expecting changes to, of course, Junkrat and Widowmaker, who I think are going to make a little bit of a change and a little bit of a resurgence in some capacity. Other than that, I really don't think we're going to see any other heroes change a lot. Maybe even with changes to report system, we might see less of the likes of Torbjorn, for example, if one-trick mains are running amok. But that's pure speculation. I'm not necessarily sure if any of those changes with Season 6 will make that much of a difference. But that's all of the heroes that we wanted to cover. Thank you very much for watching. Do let us know what you think of these changes. Are there any surprises? Are there any other heroes that you feel should be climbing out a lot higher or dropping a lot lower? Let us know in the comments below. Like this video if you want this series to continue. Subscribe for more Overwatch content if you haven't already. And until next time, take care. We'll see you then.